tell us some of your big takeaways, lessons you may have learned from working with people with the hoarding disorder or on the show?
I learned a lot. I have to say, I learned a lot from the organizers.
Okay.
A ton.
Yeah.
I mean, I really learned a lot of your little your strategies, your acronyms. Ohio, only handle it once.
Yeah. Chaos.
No, chaos? Tell me chaos.
Oh, can't have anyone over syndrome.
That's great.
Yeah.
I like that. That's really good.
Mm-hmm.
And then I learned the ideal self versus the real self.
Yeah.
I learned tons of things from the organizers. That was really helpful because then I was able to take that back to clients.
Sure.
Let's see, other takeaways. One thing I really liked working with the Hoarding Very Live show is they didn't, for the most part, try to take on too much. And every time it looked like, I mean, sometimes even when a bite-sized piece became too much. So we generally try to do one room. Okay. That was the idea. Sometimes it became more if they were willing to do that, or they had the support, but I found one thing, it's the importance of being very respectful of pacing, that slower is faster.
Yes, that's a good one. Yeah.
And that otherwise you can really traumatize them, and that really is hurtful.
Yeah.
And then I learned that you have to be true to your word, absolutely. That if you say we're not going to touch something, you don't touch that area, or they will not trust you again, and you've just traumatized them.
Yes.
And it's one more trauma to throw into the scheme of all the other traumas they've been through, other people they haven't trusted, and it just causes more resistance.
Yeah.
Even the smallest little transgression.
Yes.
So you have to be really clear, really honest, and stick to what you tell them you're going to do or not do. Let's see. I mean, I learned so much from it. I mean, I had seen clients prior to the show, but that was 60 huge hoards for me.
Yes, that's a lot. I didn't realize it was 60. That's a lot.
60. Yeah. Well, the show I was on with the two of you was the very first season. It was episode 2, and I went all the way to the last season. It was 4 years. Wow. And I did 1 or 2 hoards a month. So.
Wow. Okay.
It was a lot.
Busy girl.
It was definitely busy. Yeah. So I think I also learned the importance of celebrating little successes.
Yes.
And watching family members not do that, and that was heartbreaking. The importance of having people cheer you on and celebrate the successes. The importance of teaching clients how to organize. Because prior to doing the show, I didn't have any training in organization.
Okay.
And so I learned so much from the organizers that if you don't know how to organize, you're just going to mess it all back up again.
That's true.
And if you don't know, how you're, really tapping in. I think another thing, probably the most important thing is really tapping in how that individual's mind works.
Yes.
And learning to adapt to that individual. If they find something rewarding, then you give them that reward. If they find something distressing, you try to take that distress away. And then if they find that it helps them to, put the recycling bin on top of the counter, even if it's not conventional, go with putting the recycling bin on top of the counter, because then the recyclables will actually end up in it.
Yes, right, exactly. And that's the goal, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so it might not be perfect to, somebody else's standards.
But you're working with them. So, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, please.
But what we find important is to make the organization work for that person.
Exactly.
So it doesn't really matter how you would organize it or how I would organize it.
Yeah.
As long as we can figure out how the organization would work for that person, that's what matters most.
I totally agree.
And if they have one thing or 2 things that's working for them, don't mess with it.
Don't. Not at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
You honor that and say, what can we learn from this? But you don't mess with it.
Exactly. And how can I translate it into, another room or another skill?
Right. Yeah. Great.
Great. Well, it sounds like
Thank
we're on
you.
the same page with that.
Yes, definitely.